Welcome to the Rain Heart Wisdom Show. I'm Rain, and this is our very first Tuesday sharing, and I'll be sharing on the topic of power of intention. To me, it's the first sacred ingredient or the very first key step in creating what you desire, or for the law of attraction to work. I'll be talking more in depth about this topic based on my own learnings and my own experience, and also some of the learnings I've learned from different teachers and mentors and books that I've read, and what has worked for me. So let's start with what is intention. This is the definition in the dictionary. It is a purposeful plan to perform an action which leads to a desired outcome. And here is my definition. For me, the definition of intention is really focus, energy, to create a non-attached desired outcome. So when I say energy, what I mean by that is our thoughts and emotions are energy. So basically we're focusing on our thoughts and emotion when we're setting intention to create a non-attached desired outcome. And when I talk about focus, I really mean really intense, infused energy that you put into it. Kind of think like Superman, when he wants to use his laser eyes and he has to focus his laser eyes on something. Kind of the same thing, you're sending energy into it. And when I talk about non-attached outcome, basically you're not attached to how the outcome is going to come to you. Okay? And we'll talk more about this later. So to me, intention is energy and vibration. And Nikola Tesla talks about this. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know the secret of the universe, you need to just understand three things, which is vibration, frequency, and energy. To me, prayer is a form of intention. When we pray, right, we're actually sending an intention out to the universe so that we can actually create and receive a non-attached outcome. So how powerful is intention? I looked this up online, and there's a Vedic book that talks about this. You are what your deepest desire is. As your desire is, so is your intention. As your intention is, so is your will. And as your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny. And that's how you create destiny. So basically what it's saying is from your deepest desire, through your intention, and then your will to create, which is the deed, right? Your action, and that's how you create your destiny. So that's how powerful intention is. Lynn McTaggart, she's the author of the book The Intention Experiment. So basically she focuses on the power of intention. And one of the key things she talks about in her book is where a group of researchers, they came together to see how powerful intention can be. And what they did was they started studying a group of meditators, right, transcendental meditators. And what happened was when they were meditating in wherever the cities they're in, they noticed the crime rate drop. The day that they're meditating, the crime rates drop. Dr. Emoto, a physicist, also does a lot of experiment about water and intention. So basically what he did is he took water and he started putting words, for example, words like love and anger around the water. And what he found out through his research is, water that has words like love, they will turn out to be crystal-like. And waters that have words like anger, or water that, when he played heavy metal music, became muddy. What goes on when we focus on setting intention? So when we're focusing on setting intention, one of the things we need to do first is just to get present, right? We pause and take a moment to get present. Then we start thinking through all the different thoughts we had about what's the reason or what's our intent. And once we think through all that thoughts, then we get clarity, like, this is my intent. This is what's my intention. So for example, like you're watching this video right now. What is your intention? Is your intention to learn? Is your intention to just pass time? Is your intention to find out who I am, right? And in order to do that, when I ask you the question, what's your intention? You might take a moment and pause, get present to think about it, and get clear. And once you're clear, then you can articulate your intention with clarity. So it's really important to be really clear with your intention. And personally, I believe when we are clear with our intention, when we articulate our intention, we come from our heart space. And what is the reason it's important to be clear? Well, if you're not clear, you might not get the result that you desire. So think about this. If you are walking and you have no idea which direction you want to go, then pretty much you probably will stay stuck. But if you're clear you want to go to the left, then you're focused on going to the left, then you know where to go. So same thing with intention. It's important to be very clear. What do you want to send out? It's important to have clear intention because so you can create clear outcomes, right? And so Gary Zukav talks about this in his book called The Seed of the Soul. He said that intention is the cause. Just like physics, when there's a cause, there's an effect. So when intention is a cause, therefore creates the effect, which is your outcome. Oprah shared that when in the past, she used to do things so that she would be liked. And very often, she doesn't know how to say no. What will happen is she will get overwhelmed and tired and exhausted. But once she understood that intention is the cause, when she read Gary Zukav's book, she realized it's important for her to focus on having the right and clear intention. So are you clear with your intentions? Sometimes we may think we are, but sometimes we are not. So if you just take a moment again about listening to this audio or watching this video, are you clear about your intention? Could there be more than one intention? Are you aware perhaps there's a hidden intention? Or maybe your subconscious mind had to have a very different intention. Is your intention clear, detailed, or vague? If it's unclear, you might not get your desired outcome. So why doesn't intention work all the time? The answer is simple. First of all, you might not be clear, right? So if you're not clear, you won't be able to create the results you want. Secondly, are you aligned with your intention? So perhaps there are parts of you might not be aligned with the intention of what you want. And that's the part that I want to focus on right now. So here's my opinion. And this is again my opinion, how I see it. I believe there are 4 parts of ourselves. First of all, there is our conscious self, there's a subconscious self, there's a higher self, and then there's a divine self. Right? The conscious self is where we're conscious, we're awake, we know what we're thinking about. The subconscious self is where our subconscious beliefs reside. So those are the thoughts that we may not be aware of or beliefs that we are not aware of. We may be aware of some of them, but we may not be aware of some of them. Higher self is where I believe that's our soul, which guides us. And divine self is basically what I believe is we're all part of one, the whole universe. We're all connected. That's how I see it. And one key thing to focus on is to understand your subconscious self. What resides in your subconscious mind? Because your subconscious self is also sending intention out to the universe. For example, right, your intention is you want to make 100,000 by the end of this year. Yet there might be a belief that resides in your subconscious mind where if you have money means trouble. And that belief perhaps came from an experience that you had growing up. Maybe you witnessed your parents, had a bunch of cash and they were robbed and they were badly hurt, And you made this idea or had this belief that, when you have money, trouble will come. And therefore, while you're sending this intention, you want to make $100,000, but your subconscious is also sending this other intention, unconscious to you, that money means trouble. And that's why sometimes you may not get the results you want, because if you were to have the money, means trouble is going to happen to you. Therefore, you don't want the money. And that's how mixed results happens. So I want to clarify something, where it depends really whose intention is stronger. If your conscious intention is stronger than your subconscious, then perhaps the possibility of you creating it is higher. But if your subconscious intention is stronger, then you will manifest what the subconscious is sending out. So therefore, it is really important to know yourself, to know what are some of the beliefs that resides in your subconscious mind. Now, I want to talk briefly about this, and I will cover this in my future segment, one of the things that I share in the programs that I teach, I talk about sometimes our subconscious mind sends out some of this information is because it wants to attract people into your life so you can heal some of these beliefs that doesn't serve you. Another short example, for example, if you have a belief that people never listen to you, what's going to happen is you might attract people around you that don't really listen to you. However, it's just a mirror for you to see, oh, okay, maybe I have that belief in me. So time for me to work on that, right? And let go of that belief that doesn't serve me. And then you can actually now create people in your life that will listen to you. Now, I'm not going to go into detail around this. Just want to make sure that you understand a little bit of this, what I'm talking about. Another thing, it's important to be as clear as you can. When I say clear as you can, it's a clear vessel, right? So I've talked about removing all these subconscious belief that doesn't serve you. And as you clear more of that out, you become a clearer vessel. And because you're clearer, therefore you can clearly send your intention out to manifest your desired outcome. One of the quotes that I've heard before, it says, you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. So the more mindful you become about what are some of the subconscious beliefs that you have, and that especially those that doesn't serve you, and allow yourself to clear those out, the clearer you become, therefore the easier for you to manifest. I want to briefly touch about the non-attached outcome. It is important when you set your intention that you're not attached to how the outcome is going to be delivered to you. Like, not be attached that it's a specific way or specific result. And the reason for that is because, from my experience, the universe knows what's best for you. I'll give you an example. Many, many years ago, my husband and I decided to buy a piece of land because we have this whole idea of our dream home. So we saw this piece of land and very quickly decided this is the land that we were going to build our dream home. What happened was, leading up to the purchase of the land, our brother-in-law came to us and said, I don't think it's a good idea, don't buy a piece of land, right? Hold off, and then, as you start growing your income, maybe you want to focus on it later. Subsequently, we had another friend who came to us and said, that's not a good location, don't buy that piece of land, and we didn't listen. And then, when the day we were supposed to sign our sales and purchase agreement, when we walked into the office, firstly, the lawyer that was handling our case wasn't friendly at all. And then the company actually told us, we apologize. The price that we quoted you for the land is actually inaccurate. It's higher. Despite all this, I call them tags, right? Kind of like signs, we were told not to buy the land. We didn't listen. We decided, okay, that's fine. We're willing to pay more. And guess what? We basically didn't build our dream home there. And actually, at the end, it's a bad location, and we sold the property at a very, very low price. So what I would like to share is this. The universe knows what's best for you. Perhaps our dream home was meant to maybe be in a location where it's next to the ocean, or maybe somewhere where there's a better community. I don't know. But we were so attached to that's the one, and therefore we weren't open to what might come our way. So over the years, I've learned to listen to the taps. I've asked the universe for at least a minimum of 3 taps. And if the 3 taps are positive, I know that's the direction I am to go. And the taps could come in the form of books or people that are talking to you, or you might see something on the television. You're heading the right direction. And for me, that has worked really well. So I'll give you another example back to house. When we first came to Canada, I was very clear, setting my intention, what kind of house that we want. I was so specific. I said I wanted it to be this particular neighborhood. I wanted it to be a 3-story building home, which is called townhouse in Canada. And the reason for that is because my brother will be living with us, and I wanted to make sure that there is space for 1 floor for us and the kids, one's a common space, and then 1 floor for my brother, right? And I was very specific. I wanted a place where the basement is renovated, comes with air condition, and also we have a garage space for 3 cars, like very specific. And guess what? Because of how specific I was, we actually got the home in the neighborhood I wanted, the way I wanted it. And, you know, we were following the taps. So just to summarize, right, it's important, first of all, remember intention is focus energy, right? And so it's be very clear what's your intention. First of all, be really crystal clear what's your intention. And then infuse energy, like be focus on it, focus with your thoughts and emotion about your intention. And also don't forget to clear if there's some subconscious belief that's not serving you, clear those away so that you can be a clearer vessel to create what you want. So a practice that I can suggest for you is this. Every morning, before you get out of your bed, I would like to invite you to just take a moment to just ask yourself this question. What is my intention today? And once you get clear about your intention, then you can set the whole day in motion to create it how you want it. I'll give you an example. So let's say if I wake up this morning and say, okay, you know what? My intention today is to play, right? To have fun. And once I set my intention, I'll go around meeting my children, just having fun, right? Doing my work with the intent of having fun, even having my meals, enjoying my meals, having fun, right? So it sets the tone for your day. To sum it up, the first and most important key in creating what you desire is to have a clear intention. So I would like to invite you to think about in your business, in your relationship, in your career, in your day-to-day life, what is your intention? Because when you have a crystal clear intention, then you can manifest your desired outcome. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.